Good morning and welcome to Barbara's Bulletin. I'm your host, Barbara. Today, we're focusing on the escalating tensions in the Middle East, particularly between Iran and its neighbors. We have two major developments that caught our attention. First, the United Arab Emirates has ordered the closure of an Iranian hospital in Dubai, citing its links to the Iranian regime. The hospital, which employs over 700 people, is run by the Iranian Red Crescent Society and is one of the oldest healthcare facilities in the UAE. According to staff members, they were informed of the decision on March 14 during a staff meeting and were asked to vacate the premises within days. Patients have been transferred to other facilities in Dubai, and the hospital's website has been removed. This move comes as part of the UAE's efforts to distance itself from Iranian entities following Tehran's attacks on the country. At least 4 Iranian schools have also been shut down in Dubai, and the Iranian club has suspended its activities due to the current circumstances. The UAE has arrested several members of an Iran and Hezbollah-linked network that sought to infiltrate the national economy and threaten financial stability. In a related development, Iran has stated that the Strait of Hormuz remains open to all shipping except vessels linked to Iran's enemies. This comes amid a threat of Iranian attacks during the U.S.-Israeli war on Iran, which has kept most ships from getting through the narrow strait. The strait is a critical conduit for around a fifth of global oil and liquefied natural gas supplies, and its closure could lead to a global energy shock. Iran's representative to the UN Maritime Agency, Ali Musavi, said that Tehran is ready to cooperate with the International Maritime Organization to improve maritime safety and protect seafarers in the Gulf. However, he emphasized that ships not linked to Iran's enemies could pass through the strait by coordinating security and safety arrangements with Tehran. As we continue to monitor the situation in the Middle East, it's essential to consider the humanitarian implications of these developments. The closure of the Iranian hospital and schools in Dubai will undoubtedly affect the lives of many people who rely on these institutions. We'll be keeping a close eye on the situation and bringing you updates as more information becomes available. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. We're diving into the complex and ever-evolving situation in the Middle East, where tensions between Iran, Israel, and other regional players continue to escalate. According to recent reports from France 24, the U.S. military has claimed to have destroyed an Iranian bunker housing weapons that threatened oil and gas shipments in the Strait of Hormuz. This development comes as thousands of Iranians marked Eid al-Fitr with prayer, amidst a backdrop of heightened tensions. Meanwhile, Israeli airstrikes have hit the city of Nabateeh in Lebanon, causing significant damage and disruption. The humanitarian situation in Lebanon is also under strain, with displaced individuals struggling to access basic necessities. The international community has expressed concern over the escalating violence, with over 20 countries issuing a statement vowing to support efforts to reopen the key sea lane. It's essential to acknowledge the multiple perspectives at play in this conflict, and we must consider the historical and cultural context that underlies these tensions. As the situation continues to unfold, it's crucial for all parties involved to prioritize diplomacy and work towards a peaceful resolution. The people of the Middle East deserve stability, security, and the opportunity to thrive. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. As we wrap up today's show, I want to bring to your attention a developing story that has significant implications for global politics. Cuba is facing an unprecedented crisis, with its electrical grid on the verge of collapse and widespread power outages affecting millions of people. The situation has been exacerbated by a de facto fuel blockade imposed by the United States, which has left the island struggling to access energy sources, supplies, and funding. The Cuban government has long blamed the U.S. trade embargo for its economic struggles, while Washington attributes the country's problems to its Soviet-style command economy. However, with President Trump's administration taking a hardline stance against Cuba, the situation is becoming increasingly dire. The U.S. has cut off Venezuelan exports to Cuba and threatened other countries with punitive tariffs if they sell oil to the island. In response, Cuba's military is preparing for a possible military assault, according to Deputy Foreign Minister Carlos Fernández de Cosio. While the country hopes that it doesn't come to that, its government is defiant in the face of U.S. pressure. Cuba has released some political prisoners and offered to open up its economy to investment from Cubans living abroad, but the U.S. is pushing for more dramatic reforms. As the situation continues to unfold, it's essential to consider the humanitarian implications of this crisis. The people of Cuba are suffering, and it's crucial that we prioritize their well-being in any discussions about the country's future. Whether you agree with the Cuban government's policies or not, it's undeniable that the current situation is unsustainable and requires a nuanced solution. That's all for today's Barbara's Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay engaged.